G'day, g'day. Thank you very much for having me at the IPFS 0.5 launch meetup. Before I begin, I would like to say...
Congratulations.
Hooray! I'll drink to that. There we go.
Congratulations.
And that's enough of that. Now, I'd better confess that this is about the 12th take of this particular presentation, so the wine is going down rather well. Thank you for having me, though. It's great to be here. My name is Peter. I'm Peter on the Block on Twitter, and I'm the tech lead for the Hut34 project. The Hut34 project, we're an agile data company startup building data tools, solving data problems because data solves problems. A very brief word on the origins of our name. This is Bletchley Park, which during the Second World War was home to code breakers, including the great Alan Turing, trying to crack the Enigma code. This is Bletchley Park today, and this is our office where we earnestly endeavour. Bletchley Park literally had huts. These are 4 of the huts: Hut 1, Hut 2, Hut 3 and Hut 4, and we're an amalgam of Huts 3 and 4, Hut 34. This is not in fact our office because we're lucky enough to be based down here in Sydney, Australia. Our offices are just here in Manly, so something like 7,500 miles away from the San Francisco Bay Area. So couldn't be there tonight, but I'm glad to be here in part. Now, I'm just going to do a brief presentation on where IPFS fits into our stack, how excited we are, and the future really. So what you're looking at here is a React front end of our sort of core product, which is a data hut. We set up huts. Huts contain rooms, and they're places where users can come to exchange data. They can secure it, they can exchange it, they can track it, they can monetize it if they want to. And you're looking at a front end and with an App Engine back end on Google Cloud. So having logged in via OAuth, what we'll see in a moment when I get in there is that the stack here, you've got a traditional serverless stack, but really the heart of it begins when we look at this Ethereum blockchain-based wallet. This is a website called Etherscan. Many of you may be familiar with it. This is just a block explorer showing me what's going on. So a user has arrived. He's got access to this wallet. So here's an address that we control. I'm just going to copy that address because now via the smart contract, when that user was first registered with us, we've logged on chain this. So our smart contract has some data which says this identity is this address, this location hash. So here's an IPFS hash. This is where it begins. And IPFS is really the glue that binds those 3 things together. We've got the Google OAuth identity, we've got the Ethereum wallet with its private key, and we've got the IPFS hash containing various bits of data. This particular bit of data can only be updated, registered by this identity, by this address holder. And if we look at it, it's a base 64 string containing this information. It's an RSA key pair. There's a public key and there's an encrypted private key. That private key is encrypted using the private key of the Ethereum address that registered it. So we've got IPFS sitting there via this smart contract as the glue that binds the identity to an encryption key pair. And there it is. So now let's do some data exchange. What do we do with this? So now that I'm logged in, I may be an enterprise user, I may be a hobbyist, I may be a data scientist, but I can use this UX to just browse around some data, and I'm interested in alcohol consumption. So I'm going to acquire this data set. And you can see now that it's retrieving the blockchain details, and it's signing the value object. We use a protocol called 0x. 0x is a trustless value exchange. So the HUTX object, which is the heart of our technical delivery, contains meta, data, and value. And it's just successfully exchanged. So now that I've got that data, I can come here and complete the full circle, and I can access my wallet once more. It's going to download the keys, it's going to download the encrypted data, and it's going to present the data to me in the client. So here we are. Let's dive under the hood just a little bit and have a look at that HUTX exchange object, which again is part of the key. So here we've got the contract, and you can see that there's the transaction that's literally just gone through being mined right now. But I'll look at the previous one. And we can see that the identity who completed that transaction has called a function called hutx transaction complete. And this transaction is another IPFS location hash. This location hash doesn't represent the identity, it represents the specific exchange of data. And if we look at that object, again, it's a base 64 encoded object, which comes out to this. This is a hutx object containing meta and data and value. And within the meta information, this is promoting interoperability. The model can contain schema information. This is all public information, this, of course, so it contains the public information about the data exchanged, but the actual data itself is presented via a further IPFS hash. So it tells me, where can I get this data? And if I have access to it, here's the encrypted key. That encrypted key can only be decrypted by the identity of the person who completed the transaction. So look, that's a real whistle-stop tour. We have users from academia doing research projects. We have a couple of teams investigating dementia risk and assessing autism as well. There's some autism assessments going on, collecting data and exchanging it via this protocol. We have some corporate users. You can work with the protocol in, directly within an Excel workbook or within RStudio or wherever you really want to. That's our mission, and at the heart of it is IPFS. So if you want to reach out to us, it's Peter on the Block or Hut34 Project. Otherwise, just a big congratulations. Really, really excited to see the path to 1.0 and what happens next. I'd like to thank the Infura guys who are out there. We currently, having experience of running our own nodes, we're currently using Infura's infrastructure. So very keen to be part of the ecosystem, very excited for the 0.5 launch. Best wishes from 7,500 miles away. Take care, guys. Congrats.